Who else felt so frustrated and mad after episode 13 of Crash Course in Romance titled, How We Approach an Unsolvable Conjecture, aired? Frustrated because Seo-Jin seems to be bent on destroying Sun-Jae. And what's with Sun-Jae giving Hae-Ya cold shoulders after making her an accomplice and making her fail in a subject she'd normally ace? Mad because kids are off-limit but Dong-Hui doesn't seem to care when it comes to taking their lives. Also mad that Chi-yeol is still living in a bubble, totally oblivious to the tragic happenings around him even with haeng-seon pointing him in the right direction. Episode 14 of Crash Course in Romance will air tomorrow, although we might not know all that might happen in it. We can sure predict with the hints we've seen so far in the drama, and the preview shown at the end of the last episode. That's why today, I'm going to talk about what could happen in episode 14 of Crash Course in Romance, with a little review and explanation of the last episode. Make sure to watch to the end for a reveal. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell to be among the first to see our content. As I mentioned earlier, the just concluded episode 13 left most of us viewers frustrated and anxious for poor Hae-Ya, who is innocent and just wants to do what's right. But we are also glad that Chi-yeol unknowingly saved the day, by arriving just in time before Dong-Hui could shoot haeng-seon. How can our once beloved teacher assistant, Dong-Hui, turn so vile, or rather, be so vile? Who else had held on to hope that he wasn't the killer? As he seemed so cute and caring to Chi-yeol. It seems like most of the adults in the drama are more lacking than their little ones. Seo-Jin almost turned Hui-jae into a murderer because of her lack of faith in him. It turns out that he was not only a victim but also a witness. Thanks to him, the police might finally be able to crack the case wide open. As he gave them a hint about the killer's callous fingers. Not surprising as Dong-Hui uses those two fingers the most in shooting his metal balls. Sadly, the situation didn't teach Seo-Jin a thing about believing in her kids. Instead of showing remorse or finding a way to lessen Sun-Jae's guilt over cheating, she threatens him with suicide. What type of mother does that? I also fear for Sun-Jae just as Hae-Ya does. I fear that he might end up doing something that might ruin his life or even end it just as Jong Soo-hyun did. His mother is no help and Hae-Ya, who he has a crush on happens to have witnessed his most humiliating experience. And to make matters worse, she's now missing after meeting up with his mother. Soo-ae seems to be going through a lot too. What sort of pressure is she under that she hallucinates about killing Hae-Ya out of jealousy? To make matters worse, she now sees herself as a monster when she looks in a mirror. Yet again, this is an instance of an adult failing their young ones. Soo-ae didn't get to this point overnight. Her mother indulged her every whim even when that includes denying another child of a fantastic opportunity. Soo-hui seems to be overly curious about other people's kids than her own. She's so busy embedding herself in every gossip that she fails to see what is happening to her own family. Even the mothers are beginning to exclude her from their get-togethers as they realize she feeds off others' misfortune. I think Soo-ae may have witnessed what had happened to Hae-Ya that night but chooses to keep quiet. It could be the reason she seems disturbed when she heard she was still missing. It could be the reason she sees herself as a monster in the restroom mirror. She might have even seen Dong-Hui's face that night. Dong-Hui is now desperate as his true colors are beginning to unravel due to haeng-seon. He must have gone after Hae-Ya to get to haeng-seon. At the end of the episode, we finally got to see a glimpse of what happened the night Hae-Ya went missing. Hae-Ya can be seen running from Dong-Hui, who was in his murder attire. She was engrossed in escaping that she didn't check the street before crossing. She was hit by a car which foiled Dong-Hui's plans for her. Unfortunately, she seems to be badly injured as the episode ends. In the preview for the next episode, haeng-seon, Jae-woo, and Chi-yeol can be seen running to a hospital's emergency room. Chi-yeol can be heard trying to calm a highly disturbed Jae-Woo down. He says to him, "Let's stay strong. We need to protect haeng-seon and Hae-Ya." Then we can see Young-ju consoling a devastated haeng-seon. She says to her, she's too impatient to be lying down for too long. She'll wake up soon. From this scene, we can tell that Hae-Ya's injuries must be serious. She might have slipped into a coma due to the trauma of being hit. This must be devastating for the family, as we can see Jae-Woo in tears. But then, maybe, this could be fate's way of saving her. I can't imagine what Dong-hui could have done to her if he had caught her. Maybe she could have been dead by now. Dong-hui might have hung around the neighborhood, looking for a way to get to haeng-seon. If you recall, Hae-Ya wouldn't have been out that late if it hadn't been for Sun-Jae's mom. So I believe he must have changed plans when he saw her. By the way, what could hurt haeng-seon more than something happening to Hae-Ya? Then we can see Seo-Jin still trying to convince Sun-Jae to keep quiet about cheating in the exam. She seems to be more desperate for Sun-Jae to get into a good university than Sun-Jae is. In the preview, we can see how hurt and emotional Sun-Jae is, but all Seo-Jin could talk about is him getting into a dream university in 6 months. I fear she might end up losing Sun-Jae for good. Just as Hae-Ya had told her that night, it was not for Sun-Jae but for her own twisted ego gain. Hopefully, Hui-jae will be there for Sun-Jae, as Hae-Ya seems to be physically unable to be there for him at this point. He might make a rash decision. Then we can hear someone say to haeng-seon and chi-yeol, "I really don't think she attempted suicide." This means that the police might have concluded that Hae-Ya had attempted suicide, as she didn't look before crossing the street. If you recall, her homeroom teacher had told them that Hae-Ya had submitted a blank answer sheet during the exam. Then we can see the police questioning chi-yeol. In the just concluded episode, Detective Bae Young-soo said that they needed to find out who Jin I-sang had last spoken to before he was murdered. And if you recall, Chi-yeol had called Jin I-sang the next day after his murder. Maybe the detectives will finally realize that all the murders seem to have a common factor, which is Chi-yeol. Then we can see an extremely annoyed Dong-hui taking down Chi-yeol's pictures on his wall while saying, "After what I've done for you." From this, we can tell that Dong-hui had been committing these murders in some twisted kind of favor to Chi-yeol. He had killed anyone who had offended Chi-yeol. Then we can see an exhausted Chi-yeol either thinking to himself or saying to haeng-seon, "But I don't know any more about what kind of person he is or why he's by my side." Maybe Chi-yeol will finally begin to see Dong-hui for who he is. This could be the reason Dong-hui seemed so mad as he tore those pictures off the wall. Who else can't wait for Dong-hui's mask to be unveiled? I have a feeling Hae-Ya will play a part in his reveal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe to this channel for all things K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.